Hey everyone, it's the God Queen Soncerae here. I appreciate you listening as well as watching me on speaker. Merry Christmas to anyone who is enjoying their Christmas Eve. I want to talk about polyamory because someone left a comment on my website actually. And it was on that post I posted about Chris. And the comment that she made doesn't have anything to do with that specific upload, which is strange to me. But anyway, it says the whole situation is awful. The men you have dealt with have picked up on your weaknesses and exploited them. The truth is, Priest never loved you. He loves having sex with you. He wanted to keep having sex with you and others until shit got real and you got pregnant. And then he dipped. He's of low character, Soncerae. You have to come to terms with that reality. Now, I'm surprised she feels like I have it, but whatever. You have serious issues with self-esteem and self-worth. Predators sense those issues and use and abuse you. I hope you follow through with your initial plan to place your child up for adoption. I care about you. Please accept what I'm saying in the spirit in which it is. You're in no position to be a parent. Bitch, I'm already a parent. This be the stupid shit. Now, mind you, I'm not going to read this whole thing because once it gets toward the end, I start realizing that I'm dealing with a Christian. And Christian people have like this warped reality themselves. I think most of them have mental illnesses. I personally was a Christian for a long time. And for me, in order to be Christian, you got to think in a very closed-minded way. You can't be open-minded at all. It says, you think you're claiming poly and being open to sharing married men will make men love you. It won't. You're worthy of love, but you won't find it until you get serious therapy. So here's my thing. Stop. This cat. Stop it. I'm over here playing with the cat. So, I'm not here to stop it. I'm not here to discuss what Priest's motives were inside of our situation. But like I try to tell everybody, our relationship was not based off that. Like we spent most of our time like doing valuable things together. So, sex was not something that we, was focused on. We were out more than anything. Now, I do agree he's of low character. And I've also come to terms with that reality. But I definitely don't have self-esteem or self-worth issues. If I felt like, a man is an issue for me, I leave him. You understand? Like, I'm going to stay in a relationship until I'm no longer being treated fairly. That's when it's time for me to go. That's what I chose in my last relationship. I didn't stay in a relationship and continually get misused and treated bad and then left or anything like that. It was, I'm starting to see that this relationship isn't for me and I deserve better than this. So I'm out. You feel what I'm saying? Now, as far as predators goes and their issues and how they use and abuse people do that. But like I've said a million times, I've had men come into my life and be honest about who they are and what they want. And me and them have had a smooth situation. Personally, I've been polyamorous for 10 years. Okay. And I didn't make this choice because of a man. I didn't make this choice because I like to share married men. I don't know where these women get this shit from, but this is stemming from their perspectives of reality. Okay. I choose polyamory because it's a better fit for me, when I'm dealing with men. It's plenty of times I have been in the seat of a woman that's engaged to a man or in the seat of being with a man who maybe, inside of a relationship with me and he still cheats on me with other women. It's not that I've been walking around being some dude's side chick for 10 years. I wasn't pre-side chick. And that's not what I'm interested in at all. I'm more concerned about men being very, very honest with me about where they stand in regards to other women. And this is how I've been since I dated or was fucking around with Chris. Okay? So it doesn't have anything to do with low self-esteem or that I feel like I'm not worthy of love or I need serious therapy in regards to, relationships, how I deal with romantic partners in that way. But I do need to do counseling to cope with the abandonment issue I'm having with a man leaving me stranded inside of a extended stay hotel. That's definitely something that me and my counselor discuss all the time. Not necessarily my issues with any past relationships that I may have had. I don't really discuss that with my counselor because that's not really a problem for me. I've already decided that, romantic relationships is just not for me. Doesn't mean I don't deserve love or I feel like I don't deserve love from a man. It's just, to me, Miss Tiana Simmons, who decided to write this shit to me, I prefer being in a situation where it's open, where it's free, where people can leave and do what they want to do and have a free life. I don't want to cling on to anyone or hold someone down. I want everyone to have their freedom to do whatever it is they want to do in a situation with me. So it's easy for me to choose polyamory. Not every man I choose is married, like, here's my thing with my last relationship and him, telling me that he was separated. To me, they had, if they still were planning on being married to each other and never divorcing, they damn sure had an open marriage, because she was fucking with people. He was fucking with people. I mean, she was having serious relationships and, with people, and she was somebody's side chick at one point. So he was fucking around with a whole bunch of women and doing whatever he wanted to do. And for 2 years, they were supposedly doing this. Okay, so clearly their marriage was open. So whatever it is that they had decided for them was them. But when I came in the picture, I was very clear about what I wanted. Okay, I offered him the opportunity to be polyamorous to where he could do what he wanted to do as long as he was honest with me. My biggest thing is men being honest with me. A man could still love me and be honest with me. I hate that women think that you can only have either or. Like, I hate that women think that because a man looks in another direction of another woman, that her beauty dims because he sees another woman's beauty. To me, I'm beautiful. That's not going to change, regardless to whether my man looks in another direction and sees a woman who is also beautiful as well. There will always be women who are prettier than me. There will always be women who are smarter than me, better than me. But one thing that, other women don't have is my specific uniqueness and my specific character. And if he values my character and who I am as an individual, he will do whatever he needs to do to keep me around. Okay. But there are some men out there that don't value that. And those are the men that I have to get rid of. And those are the men that took the time to speak about me on YouTube. There's no man that values me that will actually take the time to get on the YouTube and say the horrible things that, the men that have volunteered to do this. Now, mind you, if there was so many negative behaviors or I was getting like severely disrespected inside of my relationship, before my pregnancy, I probably would have left Priest before I got pregnant. But his behavior showed that he was improving and that he was, loved me genuinely. And there was a level of respect there. When I got pregnant, the level of respect left. So it was time for me to go. And as I started seeing that maybe, this was just how he was going to act, I proceeded to leave. So it's not that I was sitting here abused and I feel like, I don't have any self-worth. If I didn't have any self-worth or self-esteem, I'd still be in Atlanta begging for this nigga to stay. And when other women look at my situation, I need you guys to understand something. As a woman, if a man is doing what he's supposed to do inside of a relationship, and Priest was initially, he was doing what he was supposed to do. He was there when he needed to be. He was calling when he was supposed to be. He was, working on just himself. He was studying to get his GED. He was just doing what he was supposed to do. And he was like this for a long time. And so it was easy for me to be like, okay, I love this man. And he's doing what he needs to do to show me that, he wants this relationship. When I got pregnant, that's when he changed. It wasn't any time before that. Now, if he would have behaved in a way that showed me he didn't love me or if he didn't respect me, I would have left like I would do any other dude. I'm not going to stick next to some dude that's acting like he don't want to be with me, acting like he don't love me. That's not, Now, any woman who feels like you need to contact me, if you care about me, the last thing that you would say to me is place your child up for adoption. Place your child up for adoption. Bitch, please. What I look like doing some shit like that to my child? You want to do that to your children? You want to abandon your children? You know, that's your business. I'm already a parent. I have a 17-year-old. All I do every day is sit around and try to improve the type of person I am. And I'm going to improve who I am. You don't know me. Okay? You guys can hear stories about me, but you don't know what kind of mother I am because I'm not your mama. I'm not the mother to your children. So you don't know what kind of parent I am. The only person that knows what kind of parent I am is my daughter and my daughter's father and my mama. You know what I mean? So pretty good at parenting, actually. Took some awesome child development classes in high school and in college. And I ran a daycare center with my mother for 10 years. So I got this parenting shit under control. Don't think for 2 minutes that because you saw a story on YouTube that you suddenly know what my parenting skills are like. Women, ladies, do not push your beliefs on another woman. Because the only time you feel justified or you feel complete as a woman is if you have a husband. Or if you're in a full-blown committed relationship, or a man has decided to marry you, or you're like this devoted Christian. You need those things to feel confident in yourself. Simply because I don't need those things doesn't mean I don't, have any self-esteem or self-worth. It just means I've chose something different for my life. I don't need a man to be around to, make me feel good about who I am. I feel good about who I am when I wake up every morning without a man. Because really, self-esteem and self-worth is something that you give yourself. It's nothing that a man could give me, And, being in as many relationships that I had been in from the time I was like 15, to the time I was like 29 or 30, I just started realizing that, I don't like what women have to give inside of relationships. I don't like it. I don't like how women have to put up with so much shit and men get to do X, Y, and Z. And then if a woman defends herself after she's been chastised or abused or mistreated or disrespected, the world still blames that woman for every mistake a man's made. And men aren't held accountable for the, mistakes that they made inside relationships. And I feel like, if a relationship has failed, it's both people inside of that relationship that need to take responsibility for it, unless one person has done more damage than anything. And inside of my situation, Priest just happened to be the person that wasn't very honest from the beginning about what he wanted. Now, again, so all of the ladies can be clear, and I'll keep saying this over and over again because it's getting repetitive. I done said this a million times. I chose polyamory for me. I've been polyamorous for almost 10 years. I was polyamorous before I met Priest, and I'm not polyamorous so I can keep a man or get a man to love me. I love myself enough. You know what I mean? I don't need a man to love me in order for me to feel secure or feel, happiness. If a man wants to be in my life, it would be nice if he had a level of respect and love for me. Of course, that makes sense. That's what I need for him to be a part of my life. But if he starts showing a level of disrespect or whatever the case may be, I will no longer be with him. You understand what I mean? So, I really, really just want for, women to start opening their minds to other relationship dynamics, because not everybody is sitting up here pressed to be monogamous or pressed to be married. Before I met Priest, I really was like, I don't want to do marriage or anything like that because it's just not for me. It's just not something I want. I wasn't even interested in starting a family with a man. What I wanted to do is have a foster care for children. I wasn't even including a man. I didn't want any more attachments with a man. And then I met Priest, and Priest and I, got talking back and forth, and, he was just one of those men that wanted monogamy and wanted a family. And I felt like, well, if I do want to start a family, I want to start a family with this guy. So, we talked about having a family together. We did things that really had nothing to do and spoke about things that really had nothing to do with sex. And I believe inside of Priest, one of his videos, he spoke about how our sex wasn't all that. You know what I mean? So when people try to say, oh, he only used me for sex. Yeah, that's like the easy narrative to have in this situation. But nobody really knows what genuinely had him stick to me initially. But I can definitely tell you it wasn't sex. It wasn't sex. Now, did he genuinely love me? I'm not sure. I don't think he did. But I don't think that a man would do all of the things that he did with me if he didn't like me at all. Like usually when a man doesn't like a woman at all, he'd be unable to do any of the things that Priest and I had done together. So I'm not going to sit here and allow, the public to believe that he didn't care about me at all at any point. But I do feel like when the baby came, there was a level of resentment there, as if I created a baby alone, and his immaturity won't allow him to take responsibility for him also participating in a baby being created, and as far as me ending the relationship, I just feel like I'd rather go off on my own and be a better parent and do what I got to do for my baby. And then, he can go off with his life and have a baby with somebody he prefers to have a child with. But never in a million years would I have just gotten pregnant by some guy, just some married guy and gotten pregnant by them. And, it's nothing like that. It's not even that type of situation. And it saddens me that Priest would even allow the public to even believe something like that. Sometimes I feel like he got YouTube pregnant, not me, because he'll get onto YouTube and he'll talk to everybody else about him wanting to be a father, but in no way has approached me and said anything to me about, fathering our child. He hasn't checked on me. He doesn't care, so I just feel like he's more concerned about what the public thinks about him than he is concerned about being a father. It's more, he cares more about what everybody thinks of him instead of, is he going to be a decent father to his son? But yeah, I would never have put my child in this situation if Priest and I didn't talk a million times about having a child. And we had a plan. The plan wasn't to get pregnant this soon, but I think when it happened, I think what he should have did was try to revamp the plan with me, and we should have just came up with another plan. I was not interested in continuing to be with him if he was still in a situation where he was, married to somebody else. I was not going to move in with him and be comfortable with being with him until he got, his divorce was finalized. They supposedly signed their paperwork June 30th. And I'm thinking the divorce was like on its way. So by the time I'm pregnant and things are, happening, it's just, that's what's happening. That's what life is. It didn't have anything to do with me being polyamorous or me, begging for love from a man. He was giving me the love that I needed. For a while, everything was fine. It's just right when I got pregnant, something switched in him and he decided to become disrespectful. And I guess it's a level of resentment there, or he didn't want it to happen this way. He just wanted it to happen a different way. And having a temper tantrum was the only way he could deal with it, instead of him actually, accepting it as an adult and just saying, hey, let's just figure out, a way to do this. I'm not ready for a baby. You know what I mean? When I was with him, I wasn't ready for a baby, but I bet you a bottom fucking dollar by the time May 15th gets here, I'll be ready. Like, I'm preparing my motherfucking self. That's how this is going to work. I wasn't ready. I was scared. He wasn't ready. He's scared. We could have handled this together. We was doing everything else together. So it was like, why not handle this together? That makes sense. So I'm not going to put up my child for adoption and fuck any bitches who try to make that suggestion. I'm not getting abortions and no shit either. And simply because you feel like you know me off of a story that I'm selling on YouTube doesn't mean that that's who I am. Don't you ever in the history of fucking living suggest any woman who wants to be a mother and wants to take care of their child and is willing to do everything that they can to improve their lives. Don't you ever suggest to a woman that she should put up her child for adoption simply because you too weak to change who you are as a person if you feel like you aren't ready for a child. That's your own perspective of reality. That has nothing to do with me. Because I will get myself ready before I put up a child for adoption. Now me and Priest was thinking about that, and he was thinking about giving our child to his sister, not necessarily someone where my child, I won't be affiliated with my child, or I won't even be around my child. You crazy? No, I still wanted to be a part of my child's life. So it wasn't going to be like I'm going to put up my child for adoption and then just walk off. The only reason why I would suggest adoption is if I didn't financially have my shit together and I was still in Atlanta trying to get my shit together with Priest. But then I realized what my downfall to begin with was, and it had a lot to do with him. So now that I'm not with him, it's like, shit, I can do whatever it is I need to do and I will be financially fine. You know, I got more faith in myself than you motherfuckers do. Do not contact me claiming you care about me and you saying it with your spirit. No positive spirit is going to say no crap to me like that. Like, what are you, crazy? Like, I don't know what's wrong with some of you people, but I'm telling you, y'all will be the first to tell somebody else they got a mental illness, but then sound crazy as hell in an email or comment section. I'm telling you. My thing is, bottom line, polyamory is something that I chose because I wanted the men in my life to have freedom. I don't want them to feel like they got to be somebody else to be with me. It's an option. It isn't a requirement. They don't have to be polyamorous. It's just a choice. For me, I'm like, listen, I just don't want to be lied to. I want you to be yourself and I want you to be comfortable. That's it. That's why I offer men the option. It's different types of relationships. And just because you get hard up over monogamy doesn't mean monogamy is right for everybody. There's people out there that have open marriages that work out just fine. There's people out there that have open relationships that work out just fine. It works for them. I'm tired of everybody thinking everybody is supposed to live one way. There's diversity in this world. Now, having this fairy tale family where it's monogamy and, you know, everybody's married and Christian and all that stuff, I'm not that. You choose that for your life, fine. You know, but for me, it was just, listen, all I needed Priest to do was be around, you know, and to not be married to somebody else. So we could have like some type of civil union or commitment ceremony and raise our child together. We did this together. We got in the situation together. So it was like, let's have a child and do this together. Now that I'm pregnant, shit. But he didn't want to do that. And that's the choice he made for him. Yeah, it's like low character. You know, yeah, there's no moralistic value in that. Nowhere. But, you know, that's how some people are. You know what I mean? And all I can do is move forward and make a better home for me and my child. I'm not about to be sitting here, you know, worried about this shit. I'm going to improve my life. So know what the fuck you talking about. And I tell people this is the shit right here that I hate. You're not giving me your opinion about me. You're trying to tell me who I am. Don't tell me who I am. Don't say to me, hey, you're choosing polyamory because XYZ. Ask me why I'm choosing polyamory and I will tell you. The reason why I'm so comfortable with polyamory is because monogamy was not working. It was not working for me. You know, polyamory has actually worked a lot better. It just depends on the guy that I'm dealing with and whether he's prepared to be polyamorous. Because a lot of guys are like, yo, that sound good, but can I really do that? Like, can I literally be honest? You know, it's all about honesty and respecting each other. It's men that's monogamous, that's pretending they faithful. It's more men out there that's monogamous, right? Saying they monogamous to the public, to their wife, but got their side chick in the background, keeping their shit a secret. That's happening a lot. And I realized that type of shit happened when I met Chris. So when I realized, you know what, it's a lot of men doing this shit. Because before I met him, I kept getting cheated on. I don't need to be with a man to feel valued. And a lot of women feel like they got to be in a relationship or they got to have a husband to feel like they're somebody or they're worth something. I don't. You know, I just feel like I'm a decent person. I'm a good person and I'm going to live life the way I want to live it. I'm going to be comfortable as I'm, you know, going through this journey and riding this ride. And I might meet some people through this journey that think differently from me or do horrible, malicious things or have no morals or have low characters. But that's what life is. All of us have met that. All of us have been with people that have been like that. And it doesn't mean that we got low self-esteem. And it doesn't mean that we are, more prone to predators. It just means that sometimes when we walking through our journey, we meet some people. Those people are supposed to teach us a lesson. They in our life for a season. And then that's it. You learn your lesson and you move forward to the next thing, Personally, as long as I can get over the fact that I was abandoned inside of a motherfucking extended stay hotel by somebody I love while I was pregnant and sick, coping with that is a lot harder than, me dealing with the fact that I've had like broken relationships before. We all had broken relationships. None of us is exempt to that. The bitch that sent me this raggedy ass comment done been in a broken ass relationship before. All of us have had that. All of us have been with someone who either hurt us or lied to us. Some of us have been with people who cheated on us. Some of us have been the person that cheated. All of us, if you are over 30, you have been through something that may have you looking at relationships different. So please hear me when I tell you my reasons behind why I do something. And if you unclear about why I do some shit, ask me. And I will clear it up for you, just like I cleared it up for Miss Tiana Simmons here. Okay? Polyamory is something that works for me. The last relationship I was in with Priest, that was not a polyamorous relationship. It was a monogamous one, according to him. We were in a monogamous relationship, and he was supposed to be finalizing his divorce. They supposedly signed their papers June 30th of this year. They were supposed to have been divorced. Okay, so it isn't that them two had an open relationship and I came in there and was like, okay, let me be a part of y'all open marriage and I'm be like an open side chick. And no, it wasn't nothing like that. Priest wanted monogamy. That's what we was doing. I was down with it. I didn't cheat on him. I didn't see other men while I was with him. I didn't fuck around with a whole bunch of partners. I didn't know that's what he was doing, But when he decided that that's what he wanted for himself, I was like, okay, fine. If that's what you want, this is what we going to do. Let's come up with another plan. So he didn't do his part. It isn't Soncerae confused. It isn't Soncerae the victim of some predator. It isn't Soncerae who had like low self-worth and low self-esteem. It just so happens that the man I was dating was confused about what he wanted with his life. He was confused about, the steps that he wanted to take. And when he got confused, shit started crumbling. Sometimes that just happens. Sometimes that's what happens with your partner. And you move forward. Okay? So that's all I have to say about that. I hope that, everyone has a better understanding about why I chose polyamory. And if you choose to do something other than other than monogamy, it doesn't mean you have low self-worth. It just means that you have chosen something different for your life. And don't allow other people to make it seem like because you haven't made the choice that they would make, that you somehow have lost your mind. Only you know what's good for your life and what is best for you. Okay. And 9 times out of 10, you figured this out after experiences and mistakes and triumphs and successes. You know you better than anybody else. All right. I appreciate you watching and listening. Have vision and stay focused. Namaste.